We rolling?
Okay, we are rolling, yeah.
Hello and welcome to today's...
Sorry, our legs just touched.
Hello and welcome to today's episode, ladies and gents. Just the one episode today. Welcome to today's episode. I hope you're well. I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you're listening to us or watching us from. So how's your week been?
It's been good.
What have you been up to?
Super busy.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it a little bit later in the episode in terms of schedule and stuff, but this week was the first week in maybe a couple of months actually where I started following my schedule again to a T.
Nice.
So waking up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. It's been bliss, mate.
Is it?
Every day has just been locked in this week. I'm so happy.
That's good.
So,
and what have you been editing? What have you been working on?
So there's some Universal stuff. So
which is a music label for those that don't know.
It's like live sessions of artists on a boat.
Sick.
Going through like
I did have a sneaky little peek and it looks class.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
There's a few of those. There's a few lined up for shooting as well in the next few weeks. So
nice.
It's
Lots
just
of
back to
editing.
back. Lots of editing this week, yeah. That's the thing, you do like a shot, you do shoots, and then there's like
a backlog of editing.
Yeah. Unless you just, outsource it and you just do all the shoots. It just depends what you like doing. I like editing.
Sounds good, man.
To a certain extent. So yeah. What about you? How's things? Hold on a minute. Wait. Matt, give us an update on your life right now.
On my life?
Yeah, on your life. So before and then a little bit like current and then after like...
What, so before I was born, before my life? What do you mean?
Before this weekend.
Okay, so I had a shoot come in. Basically, it was really up in the air, but like I was told about it a few weeks ago and was like buzzing, this could be sick, and then didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks for different reasons that I won't go into, and then found out last week that I might still be doing it, then found out I might not be doing it, and then found out the day before that I was doing it. So
Yikes.
Life of a freelancer, the stress levels. But yeah, I ended up doing a massive 4-day campaign for PUMA. I think I won't say who, but I can say the brand. For PUMA, and mate, biggest shoot I've ever done. Gassed. I'm on cloud nine right now. Honestly, I'm like buzzing. And me and Cameron have wanted to talk about the shoot, but we wanted to save it for the podcast because he's had so many questions for me, and I'm like, wait, ask me on the podcast because, mate, it's like definitely the biggest shoot I've ever done. It's funny, isn't it? Because we spoke about this podcast in previous episodes, how work's not going my way this year. It's been since April last year that I had the big Chelsea campaign, and I know I'm capable of that, and just nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So now, like, it just goes to show folks, like, stay persistent, keep your head down, something good will come. It always does. And it delivered, and boy, did it come. Boy, did it come.
I'm just laughing because Matt's all of a sudden like, stay persistent, get in there, put in the hard work. And it's like,
even though 3 months ago I was like, I can't do it, I've got nothing left.
Also, Matt's not got a beard anymore, he's got a mustache.
Yeah, my facial hair is changing weekly, folks. So I'm just keeping you on your toes.
He won't have any eyebrows next time. It'll just be his mustache.
We had a pre-lighting day on the Friday. But that was like early call time there all day. Started building the sets. Big production, big studio.
Yeah.
Probably like 8 or 9 different sets we shot on over the 3 days. So day 1 was a pre-lighting day and a setup day. Day 2 was shooting one other talent. Day 3 was shooting another talent, and day 4 was shooting them both together. But yeah, like, so it was weird getting up at 4:30 every morning over the weekends when all your mates were out. And my mates were out on the Saturday night. I got up on the Sunday at 4:30, came downstairs, and they were all still up. Yeah. So that was a funny one. But yeah, so it was weird.
That's like creative life.
It is. It was weird working over the weekend, but mate, boy, was it worth it. Like I say, biggest shoot I've ever done. And mate, like I'm just so happy with the work. And it was just a case of, like I said to you, like prove to myself that I can do it to that level. And I know I'm capable. And it was like I needed to prove to myself again for my own self-confidence that I could, because it had been so long since I'd done something on that scale. But like this was a way bigger scale. Like for it to happen over a 4-day period, like usually like the Chelsea shoot was 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? It was setting up and then, but to have this full production with an amazing team of people, incredible like lighting, gaffers, set design, like creative direction, producers, first AD, everyone was amazing. It was so good. And mate, I just loved it.
Well, I was saying earlier as well, that it's like a proper shoot when the crew have headsets on.
Yeah.
Because they all have to communicate to each other. And I'm like, I saw that on your Instagram story and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's legit. It's legit. No, so I'm so grateful that the lads that sorted me out with it, like, they know who they are if they're listening. Like, honestly, they put their neck on the line for me to get this shoot, and I'm just happy that I managed to like deliver for them and for myself.
Yeah,
and hopefully it's the start of many more. But yeah, man, I just needed it. I just needed it for myself. And to say now I've done like a huge campaign with PUMA, and obviously like I'm with one of the biggest athletes in the world. Yeah, I'm just like, I just needed that for myself, man.
Like, it looks unreal as well. Like, I think, I don't know whether it's the set design or just...
Mate, so this is the thing, that's what I wanted to talk about.
The work just looks high, like, it just looks high-end.
Like, it takes an army, right? Yeah. And I said that on my Instagram story, it takes an army. So the fact we had like a full set design team, carpenters come in to build these sets, that's what takes the work from like me just being in a hotel room with like a one light to building a set, having a full styling team, having a full lighting team, everything, like all of these people, these 30 people that come together to create this thing, that's what takes it from like that, not low end, but like mid end to high end. Would not look at a place on a billboard like above like a huge store or like something like that. It's like those little things that make the massive difference.
It is literally movie magic, right? Where you see something, you're like, why does that look so good compared to the work I shoot? It's like, because that like 20 people.
The budget on this shoot, like, it would have been pretty hard. Like, as in, like, you had to make things happen. Lots of people coming together to create something big. And it was like, I know I can do that, but you just need the team to do it. And I got given the opportunity to have that all come together, I suppose, and like shoot something on like a sick set with sick styling and sick lighting and like just a sick team. And like Hyphen with a creative studio, shout out to them. Like, I'd never worked with them before. I hope I get to work with them again. The guys there were so nice and so cool. And like everything just came together to create the sickest thing. And yeah, I'm just so happy with it. And now I know that can sit on my portfolio and just like, it's a big stepping stone for me, I think, in the right direction.
Do you know when it releases? Or you're allowed to say?
August, September time.
Okay.
So it's like the their autumn winter collection.
Yeah. Okay.
So mate, gassed. Yeah.
God, man. Well, I'm honestly very proud of you, man.
Thank you,
I'm so happy for you. I think
appreciate it.
I don't know. It's cool to see like your friends succeeding, right?
I agree,
and really going in the direction that I don't know. Like, it's like the step up again. Yeah. It's like
yeah. It was a long time coming though.
Shall we get into the actual
Let's get
episode?
Sorry for waffling on there. I'm just a bit gassed. I'm on cloud nine.
Well, do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. Well, today we are talking about overworking and hustle culture.
Yeah, I want to touch on hustle culture.
Was there anything else?
Yeah, like there's loads of tangents off that, so let's just, you kick us off.
In the creative industry, it's quite tricky because overworking is almost like you overwork by proxy, because if you're in the creative industry, you tend to like what you do. And if you like what you do, then you do a lot of it. And not that you get taken advantage of, but you're a lot more prone to taking on more work that typically, if you finished at 5 p.m, you'd be like, nah.
You become a bit of a yes person.
Yeah.
And you say yes to everything and then figure it out later. But I agree, like when you do what you love, you are naturally going to want to work more. You're not going to be like looking at your clock, waiting for 5 p.m. to arrive and then be like, right, I'm done.
This might be a little bit of a, maybe it's not a dark thing. Yeah, but I think overworking is a little bit like trauma. It's only trauma if it affects you. Or if it affects your life. So it's only overworking if it actually affects your life.
You to say that.
I thought of that this morning. But what I mean is, like, what's overworked to one person isn't overworked to the other.
Yeah, I hear that.
And so, as an example, I think about it in the gym when, you know, like when you doing all those monotonous?
Going through the motions.
Just all those tasks, and you're thinking about like how you want to live your life and how you want to, you know, spend your time. And are you working too much? Are you doing enough for this? And at least from my perspective, there's genuinely nothing else I'd rather be doing than being like, man, just carry on working. Which is so weird.
But that's because you enjoy it. It comes back to your first point. Like, I think with overworking, it's again, it comes back to how you feel about it and what your priorities are. So if you love your job, like, of course you're going to be staying up till 7, 8, 9. Mate, if I'm doing a shoot I love, like, I'm going to be up all night editing it because I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
And then again, so it's a mix between that, because there's plenty of people out there that hate their job and they're watching their clock until 5 p.m. and then they don't want to think about it until the next day, and they don't even want to go to work the next day. So like, they don't want to overwork. I feel like you either want to overwork or you don't, and it's based on whether you enjoy it. And then it also depends on where your priorities are at. Like if you've got a family and or if you've got a partner or like you've got friends that you want to see, as soon as you clock off for work, your time wants to be spent elsewhere. So like that plays a massive part of it as well. Like what are your priorities? Where do you want to spend your time? What do you want to do? Like that's going to take into consideration work. If I loved my work and I had no girlfriend and had no friends, like best believe I'm probably just spending all my time working because you've got nothing else to do with your time. But if you've got friends you need to see and hang around with and you want to maintain those friendships, I've got a girlfriend that I want to see, like I've got family I want to talk to, I've got family I want to see, like I've got other hobbies that I want to interact in, then like cool, like I'm only going to work till 6 and then go out with my friends in the evening or like go to the cinema with a mate. Do you know what I mean? Like it depends on where your priorities are.
I think everything has the same weight in terms of like if you want to spend time with your friends, then spend time with your friends. If you want to spend time working, then spend time working.
Yeah.
And there's not really like a bad side of it. I think a lot of society leans on work being like just something that shouldn't be your entire life.
Yeah.
But if you do want to work, then it's like what's the difference?
You do that.
Yeah, what's the difference with me going with friends to a restaurant or me working? Now obviously the difference is you're with other people. But it's like if I'm not getting anything from that experience,
agree.
Then I would much rather spend my time
working. Then there's the conversation of like burnout. So do you know what the definition of health is in the dictionary? It's your physical, social, and mental well-being. Right?
Okay.
So if you spend too much time working, you're gonna burn out eventually. Like for your mental well-being and your social well-being, you need to not be working and spending time with other people and enjoying hobbies, having fun, going for a kickabout, like going to the cinema, going shopping, like whatever that looks like. You have to go and do that. So like I hear what you're saying. I think to a point, like if you've got nothing else to do and you get just as much from working as you do like hanging out with your mates, then cool work, but like you need to question, is this good for my health? Like how does it make me feel? Because if you're isolating yourself and you're not seeing any friends or you're not doing any of the other hobbies that you enjoy, then like you're going to burn out and your health is going to deteriorate probably pretty quickly.
It's a really mixed bag, man, because
I know what you're like, because you'd happily sit in your room and not see anyone and work.
Well, or come into the office.
Or come into the office. But I'm different, and I'm like, I need that social time for my like mental health.
So you say social interaction, right?
Yeah.
Like how much social interaction does someone need in order to feel okay? And it's like some people need less than others. Some people, so
it's completely dependent on the person.
Yeah, it's completely dependent. And I think, at least from my perspective, I live like, I don't want to say like a minimalist style. I'm not minimalist, but there's that simplicity of like having a schedule and not really like if I want to relax, I'll watch YouTube and if I don't need like a full day off, I just need like maybe 4 hours just to chill.
Yeah,
that's and then I'm right back on it again.
It's completely dependent on person.
Yeah,
and you know how you react. Yeah. Like you've been alive long enough to know what you need and what you don't need. And if you don't know that, then you start experimenting and figuring out what works for you and what doesn't, and what makes you feel better and what does and what doesn't. So
yeah, it is a range of things though, because with anything that you want to do, there is no balance to it. So say for example, if you want to learn to ride a bike, you're going to spend like maybe 3 hours just riding the bike.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, oh, I'll ride it for 10 minutes and I'll wait like another day and then I'll ride it 10 minutes and it's just kind of like that. Where if you want,
that's a very pedantic.
Well, it's just a very extreme example.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to come into the creative industry and you want to get to like certain places, well, there's other people as well that are trying to get there.
Yeah.
And if they're working harder than you,
then they're likely to get there faster.
And it's like you can accept.
You need to decide then if you're okay with that or not. And if you're not okay with it, you need to work more.
But if you want a more balanced life, then you're going to get there slower, or like things that you want to actually be good at need a certain amount of attention that a balanced life won't give.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a period of time or a season of your life where you're going to have to prioritize these things over others. So when we first moved to London, I actually think it was a benefit that all of my friends were back home.
Yeah.
Because then there was no reason for me to be going out or needing to spend a little bit more money or taking a little bit more time to hang with people. And then after a few years, you're like, oh, like now it's fine. And also that like I see it in the viewpoint of, now is the time where I've got no responsibilities, or at least as little responsibilities as I'm ever going to have.
Yeah.
Because anywhere up from here, you're going to be, you might have more. But I was listening to There's a new podcast on the Modern Wisdom. Are we allowed to? Do you not? Fuck it. We're mentioning other podcasts on our podcast.
Yeah, that's fine.
Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. He just interviewed Bill. I don't want to miss his name. Oh, Bill Perkins.
Okay.
And he made a book called Die With Zero.
Yeah.
And the whole point was there's only some experiences that you can have right now. You can't wait till you're 40 or 30 and do it. So say, for example, you go... the example he gave was, yeah, like I was on holiday and one of my mates was like, let's do windsurfing. And he went, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's nice. I just want to chill on the beach. And then he sat and thought about it and he's like, when am I ever going to have the opportunity to windsurf again? And he's like, probably not within the next 10 years. And then he was like, am I going to be able to windsurf in 10 years?
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, this is something I need to do right now.
Yeah.
So he's saying that, yes, you should work hard, but there should be, calls it a memory dividend.
Right.
And it's like where you should think of the memory that you're going to get from that, because right now is maybe the only time. Like you might not be able to skydive when you're 50.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, do it now whilst you can.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that balance inside of things where I've only just started looking into it. But it's quite interesting because I'm stood only like, well, I've wanted to go to Switzerland and snowboard for a while.
But you've never done it.
And I've not done it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 27, so I've got plenty of time. But it's like, maybe it's not a health reason why I wouldn't be able to go. Maybe it's because maybe I'll have a kid or there's all these things. And it's like, and also he talks about how your personality changes over time. So you go, like buying a Ferrari or driving a Ferrari to somewhere when you're 40 is different than driving a Ferrari when you're 75, because when you're 75, you're really going to give a fuck about a nice car by the time you're 75.
Yeah.
And it's that thing where it's like, some things you'll only appreciate in this current time of your life compared to later on where, like video games. Mate, the amount of time I spent on video games growing up.
Yeah.
I remember sitting and thinking, I can't imagine a life without video games. And now I'm older. I'll play the best ones, like The Last of Us.
Yeah, yeah.
After that, I'm like, I just do not touch it. And it's just, I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't play them that often anymore,
yeah. Your aptitude and your personality changes and all these things. And it's like the things that you're holding off and think, oh, I'll do later, you might just end up not wanting to do later on. And it's like, you kind of miss the boat.
Do you know what? My little brother was a bit like that. He was so like, work, save money, save money, save money. And he got to 24, 23, and he was like, I've got all this money saved, but I have no fun. Like before I know it, like I'll be 30 and I'll be like, oh, I didn't do anything fun in my 20s.
Well, you have to choose your sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah. And he started doing more fun stuff and just started like going on holiday more and enjoying it a bit more, and obviously still saving money, but just being like a little less tight with it. And he's just like, you have so much more fun.
Yeah. You're taking away from your current self to give it to your future
but it's finding a balance, because I was the opposite, and I would spend all my money on experiences, and I got to travel and do loads of sick stuff, and like, it's like finding like a midway point between me and him. Like that's your good ground where you still can save some money, but you still enjoy life, but to a certain extent. And man, it's interesting.
Well, you have to pick your sacrifice, because no matter what there's a sacrifice either way. It's just which one are you going to choose?
Yeah. Coming back to your point on like your schedule, I still think that you can have like a healthy, like make time for friends and stuff, and still be really productive and progress in your carear.
Oh yeah, but you just schedule that.
But you've got to be tight, like you got to be good on, like you got to be on it. So like from like 9 till say like 11, you're doing really focused like.
Whoa, mate! I went immediately from 9 till 11 p.m.
No.
So 11 a.m. So
right?
That's my
mindset.
Just
hear me out. Like from 9 to 11, you're doing like really focused, like high end work, and then you have a coffee with a mate. You go for a walk and have a coffee with a mate. And then you have lunch. And then you've already got that little social aspect out of it. And then from like 1 till 3, you're doing like another like bit of high-end work, and you're like really focused and you're not on your phone. And do you know what I mean? And then you do like a fitness class or a PT session or like...
Okay. Jesus Christ, that's too much free time. Social life and then a fitness class later on as well.
But it depends what kind of task you're doing. But what I'm saying is, like, so many people sit at work from like 9 till 5.
Yeah.
How much work are they actually really doing? And how would they be able to do that in a 3-hour window instead of an 8-hour window?
Yeah, but it also depends on people's personality, because when I sit down and work, I need to sit down and then that's it. Like once the ball's rolling, it needs to keep going.
Yeah.
So I can't take a break halfway through because I'll just never get started again.
Yeah, fair.
With the schedule, I think whenever people say to me like, oh, like I want to do this, and immediately whatever they're doing, I'm like, just start a schedule. And like, well, I don't, like I work my 9 to 5. So like my schedule, I guess, is just like I'm in my 9 to 5. I'm like, Well, put 9 to 5 in your schedule that you're at work.
Yeah.
And then what do you do after your 9 to 5? Schedule that you go to the gym for an hour. Schedule this. And it's like, I don't understand how people, they only schedule like some of the important things. Like, oh, the schedule will be like the meetings in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, schedule when you wake up, like when's your bedtime and when's your wake up time.
I know, but
Like,
that suits your personality though. You doing stuff like that.
But you can still see friends. Well, you're just being deliberate with your time.
Yeah.
But you can still see friends and just schedule that in. Now, you don't have to say to your friends, oh, I've scheduled you in at this time.
Yeah.
But just for your own headspace, you can be like, schedule.
But like the point I'm making essentially is that you can be, there is a middle spot with overworking and underworking. And like if you're deliberate and you're organized with your time, then there's a sweet spot where I still think you can progress in your career pretty well. But also like have that time with mates, have that downtime, like, and look after your health and make priorities for other things. I think it's completely doable. You might disagree with me, but I think it's doable.
No, I think it's definitely doable, but it just, how much do you want to sort of like do? Like, how hard do you want to go? So there's a fly there. It sounds like hustle. I don't think
It does sound like hustle culture, and we're going to get onto hustle culture, and I don't like hustle culture.
There's a fly attacking
hustle
me,
culture
bro.
grinds on my gears, and you're preaching some hustle culture right now.
Well,
like on Saturday, I got up at 4:30 for my shoot, and was shooting and was working till 4 or 5. Then I went out with my friends in the evening, had dinner with my girlfriend, and then I was asleep by 11, and I was up at 4:30 again on Sunday. So I did the work. And I socialised with friends, and I still saw my girlfriend, and I was back to sleep and doing it. I think you can still do it all.
Yeah, no, but you was tired.
I was very tired.
Exactly right. So you can't. Whereas imagine you didn't do any of the other. Say like you was like, I just want to work hard. Then you would have just worked, and then you would have maybe chilled in the evening, and then you would have gone to sleep, and then you would have woken up at 4 and carried on. But it would have been sustainable. So I'm not saying that. Like, if you want to work that hard and also be able to have like the social life and all that, then you're going to be like. But
you're saying that you have to work so hard that like it's like, how bad do you want it? Like grind. You should be working till like the later hours of the day.
I don't think that.
No, but you're saying like, how bad do you want it? So it's it's like you can give up your free time, and you can give up seeing your partner, and you can give up seeing this, and then like you'll reach your goals quicker. I get it. On paper, statistically, you would. But so there's a point where you can only work so hard until you start to be unproductive. There's a line of like people. So you start being unproductive, and then it's like, oh, cool, I'm still sat on my laptop and it's 11 p.m. But really, like how productive are you being? And also then, like, how long can you go on and do that for until you burn out? But if you stopped at 7 p.m. and then spent some time with your friends and then had some downtime and got a good night's sleep.
I'm not saying don't have days off or time off.
Well, that is kind of sounds like what
this fly is like attacking me.
That kind of sounds like what you're saying, because you're like, it's just like, how bad do you want it then?
No, so maybe we'll just get onto that then. So I think having time off is one of the best things. One of the best things you can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly.
Have time off every day.
And the reason
you should have time off every day.
How I discovered it, this sounds a bit hustle culture, but like from 2018 when we first started to COVID, I worked every day. I maybe had 1 day off a year, and that is not an exaggeration, seriously.
Yeah.
And then when COVID happened and everything disappeared and we were all forced to have a day off, I discovered so many things that I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And like reading and just like
gaming.
Yeah. Just all that. Last of Us 2, I think, came out during COVID.
Yeah.
That was anyway.
Carry on. It's not relevant. Carry on.
Wait, just for this, there's a siren. Hold on.
No one can hear the siren, by the way. You said this in the last episode, and I couldn't hear it.
Oh, right. You must be deaf then.
Yeah.
No, you come on.
Okay, that's quite loud.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And yeah, so I think having days off, like especially as a creative person and you work in the creative industry, creativity doesn't come just because you think I need to be creative right now. It comes in like those times where you're in the shower, you're in the gym,
in the bath.
The name of this podcast came from in the bath.
Yeah.
So and so you need that downtime to allow your mind to just kind of wander.
No, I agree. And there's that saying that I keep seeing on Instagram at the moment, like creatives need time off.
Yeah, you
creatives need time off.
Absolutely.
Which I love that's kind of being pushed. Because I don't like hustle culture.
Yeah. Well, similar to what you said a minute ago, where you have like 4 a.m. shoots. It's like life is a marathon with a series of sprints.
Yeah, I liked that when you voice noted me that.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Because I enjoy it.
Well, it's just like there's going to be periods of your life where you're going to have to work harder than
others.
Like just in general,
Yeah.
like in comparison to your own life. Like there's going to be times where you're going to be up for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work late and get up early, and that's just part of like, okay, this is the hard part of what I'm trying to do. Yeah. And this is the part that requires a little bit of extra effort because it can't be smooth sailing all the time.
Yeah.
It can be smooth sailing like 70% of the time, like where you've got it dialed in and you're like, yeah, sustainable, I'll go to the gym, I wake up early, I get my work done. And then there's other times where you're like, man, I'm going to have to miss the gym tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to carry on and do this. I was in the office till 10 p.m. last night. And it was just because we had a friend came into the office and I just stopped working and hung with them and Jamie. And then I picked my work back up at 9 and I just finished it off.
Yeah.
And it's just that thing where it's like, I could have just carried on and gone home.
Yeah. The hustle culture that I don't like is all this crap on Instagram. And I think you can get so caught up in it when you're like trying to achieve something. And like I think there's a time and a place for motivational stuff. And I've found benefit from it over the years. I know you probably find more benefit from it now. But like this whole like grind, sleepers for the week, grind never stops. Like
that's very cheesy. I don't think that's
no, but like there's a lot of it out there, and I think like be careful that you don't get wrapped up in that because you need downtime. Creatives need rest, and you're just going to burn out fast. Like think about what's good for your health, good for your mental, social, and physical health, and just try and find a balance that works for you. As long as you're still ticking off goals and working towards goals and progressing in your career, and you're also doing your hobbies and the things you love. Then like try and like fit all those things into one and find the balance on the scales because you can easily overwork, you can easily underwork, and we're all in this. We're all trying to balance life. Like life is a big balancing act. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like, and we're no expert, but I think I just want to say be careful about getting sucked into the hustle culture because very quickly you can damage your like mental health.
I guess working in general, it really depends on the person. And
yeah,
again,
and
what like, season of life
we can't sit here and tell people like this is what's going to work for you. Like you have to go and figure that out yourself and like experiment and all that kind of stuff.
Like when I came to London, I was like, I'm coming here to work, and that's it. And that was it. I wasn't interested in doing anything else.
Yeah.
And so I can easily sit here and be like, yeah, you need to work hard because that's what we did, and it paid off. Like you know, you get
and
to
like
a certain...
let's not get it twisted, right? Like. If you want to achieve big things, you've got to work freaking hard. Like, and like Yaz was saying to me the other day, she was like, you do realize if you want a sports car, how hard you're going to have to work to get that.
Yeah.
She gave me some real tough love, but she was just like, hello, like Matt, wake up call. Like if you want a Porsche GT3.
Wait, Yaz sounds amazing, by the way.
If you want a Porsche 911 GT3, like wake the fuck up. Like you do realize how hard how else do you think you're going to be able to afford that? Like seriously.
I don't know. I just feel like you need to like know yourself, and it's like if you want this thing, then it's like you do really need to work hard. And it's like if you think, well, I don't want to do that, and oh well, I want to like go away, and it's like, well, you go away, and the people that want it just as much as you do, except they won't go away, they'll just take it from you, or they'll just get there first.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that.
And I think though that it's not about whether that will happen. It's that's just how the market technically
it's a dog world.
Yeah, and it's like you've got to be competitive, and people aren't just going to roll over.
Yeah. So you're saying essentially there's people that out there that want it more than you, and those people that want it more than you are willing to do more to get there, so therefore they'll take it from you.
But also, it's not like my opinion. In terms of, it's just like that's the way it is, and it's the way it is for all of us.
That's just the way that the world
works. And some people work harder,
and
other people don't, and they get to the same place.
That's the way the world works.
You work with the cards you've got, right? I think Joe Rogan said this: working 3 days isn't as good as working 4. Working 4 days isn't as good as working 5. Working 5 isn't as good as working 6.
I'm looking at it from a more holistical standpoint and an emotionally, like, responsive standpoint. Like, but how does that look for your well-being? How does that look for your mental health? How does that look for your social health?
Imagine all of that is fine though as you work it. So
only because you enjoy it.
I don't know. There's never a thing that's pulling me away from it, and I think
again that comes down to the individual.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like you're looking at it from like you're basing it off your own experience.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to,
which obviously is hard, and you're looking at it from a very statistical. Like, here's the evidence: more hours you put in, more success. And I don't disagree with that because I do agree. I
agree, but I also disagree with that. I don't think it means more success.
No, as in like, but the more time you spend on something, the likelihood and the percentage increases that you will have a better result.
Yeah, yeah.
4 days is just, of course, you're going to get more work done than 3 days. Like, of course, you're going to make more progress because you're spending more time on it. More hours, more time equals like a greater yield.
Wow,
Space.
excellent wording there.
Thank you. Sometimes I do say good things.
Yeah.
But like, of course, that's statistically and mathematically correct. Great. But like, and I'm looking at it from a more like, but how often can you do that until you burn out? How often can you do that until like your mental health starts to go down the toilet? Do you know what I mean? It depends.
Well, I don't see. I don't know how the mental health. Like, if imagine if the mental health is actually doing well because of that, though.
Yeah, but also
Like-
it could. This is a completely person dependent, because I know lots of people that if they worked that hard, they would burn out and be fucking miserable, myself included. So, do you know what I mean? It's completely depending on how you're wired. We're very lucky because we've been absorbed in our work and we've had experiences where we're in peak flow. Like, you feel euphoria, you're on cloud 9 because you're absolutely buzzing about your work.
Yeah.
But for so many people, that's not the case. For so many people, that's not the case. Do you know what really annoys me, really grinds my gears, is when people can absolutely do whatever they want. Like, if you don't want to work hard, cool. If you want to work hard, cool. You do you. It's when people say they want this and they want that and they want this and they want that, but then don't work, and then they keep saying they want it, but don't work. They say they're going to do something and they don't do it. That really gets under my skin.
Yeah.
Not that I want to turn this podcast into a bitching now. I feel like I'm bitching.
Something that I've noticed is that, because of like the positions we're in, where we've been in the industry for a few years, and like we have a network and connections and these things, and I've got friends or people I know that have gotten into the industry later, and you've given them like the access to easily be able to start something.
Yeah.
They still aren't able to do it. And it's like, we did it without anything, with no network and no connections. And it's like, somebody. How can I say it without... So as an example, without like, singling anybody out, but someone wanted to do this thing. I had them on set. I introduced them to these people. The people told them like how they, like what they could, maybe equipment they could buy or whatever. And then I spoke to them like 3 months later and I was like, oh, did you end up getting it? And they were like, oh, no, I've been too busy, man. And it's like, mate, you literally have access to people who work on the stuff that we work on.
Yeah.
Doing your position. They've told you what to do.
Yeah.
You know them because I've introduced you, and you still... And it's just like, man, like some people just don't... No matter how many things you give them, they just don't
action
do
it. Well, it's like my little brother says again, like some people in this life that you're either a hammer or you're a nail. As in, like, you're a hammer and you make shit happen and you action shit, or you're a nail and you're like a pawn and you get moved around and you just coast.
Yeah.
And you get told what to do. You're either one or the other.
I think as well, it comes down to like how intrinsically fulfilled you are, like how easily you can become intrinsically fulfilled, because I can sit and just watch YouTube and be like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, fine again.
Yeah.
So you don't need a lot. So
you don't need
a lot of like...
Your dopamine system sounds like it's working correctly. Getting all scientific about it.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Yeah.
But I also think I just don't expect too much, maybe. We spoke about this last time, but there's just nothing that I really want to buy. The things that I want to buy line up with my work, which is I've already got a camera.
Yeah.
My laptop is like the thing that works the best. And
like, that's good though, man. That's great. That's great. And let's hope it stays that way then. I think it will.
I don't know. Do you want to buy it? Like, I want to... When I first got into the industry, I was like, Audi R8, V10 Plus, blacked out. Like,
I think,
that's what I want.
of course, I want to... This is the problem. I have expensive taste.
Well, I want a Ford GT, and that's 750 grand. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Sorry,
I know you'll get it.
I
know you'll get it one day. But I like expensive things. I'm into my fashion. I like clothes. Don't get me wrong. I love cars. Like, I'm really into my cars, and I have become more so over the last like year or two. I'm also like aware of my expectations, and I'm, like I said, I'm aware that if I want those things, then I'm gonna have to earn more and work a lot harder. But I've also become a lot more savvy with my money this last 6 months.
Is there an urge though to like buy things? Just
No, there's
just
no
in
urge.
general?
There's no urge at the moment now. No.
Okay.
I've matured a lot financially over the last half year, definitely. Only because I needed to, because I put myself in a position of bad money problems, and I was like, fuck, I need to learn. And I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I did.
You just reminded me, I had a bit of a flashback when you said that. Did you still celebrate your birthdays and stuff through the years?
Of course I did, yeah.
Okay.
I threw parties and all sorts.
Oh God, I didn't.
My 25th, I had a boat on the Thames.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Threw a party, man.
Man.
But I was very much taking that this year. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go on holiday with Yaz probably. But like, I was very
Oh my
much
God.
like, I've turned 25. Like, it's a big birthday. I want to celebrate with my friends. I always used to throw parties, like celebrating another year of life. Like, I'm blessed and grateful to
Wow.
be another year older, kind of thing.
That's so weird. Yeah.
Now I'm a bit more like, I don't want to do that. I'll
Yeah.
do something for my 30th maybe, but yeah.
I didn't celebrate my birthdays.
Right.
Like, people would go, "Oh, what are you doing for your birthday?" And I'd be like, "Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm working." But I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it was like, so
yeah.
I think I accepted that the next few years of my life were going to be like, I'm going to work.
Well, your birthday
This is
this
it.
year, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like, where are we going? What are we doing? It's your birthday. And you're just like, don't know, up to you. And I'm like, mate, come on, let's go shopping. Let's go for dinner. Let's do something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but I think so. I think that's just because I've accepted the season of the time I'm in. Is obviously not celebrating your birthday is extreme, and I like celebrating my birthday, and I love my birthday, and obviously, but I think it's just I'll go out for a meal, and then like that's fine. I'll go and spend it with my parents.
yeah.
But like I wouldn't.
I think that's getting older though as well. Like, as you get older,
Yeah.
you don't want to celebrate it as much. But yeah, like I've always
Well,
tried
yeah, I
to
don't know.
celebrate
Yeah,
it.
like I don't know. Yeah, it's very
For me, I
very
think it's just like
interesting.
I like to reflect. I'm a very reflective person, and I love looking back on memories and all that kind of stuff. And you know, like, cool, like, mate, I've been blessed with another year on this planet. Like, that's
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's a gift. Like,
Well, there was plenty of
I
times.
could have got a disease. I could have died. I could have got hit by a car. I could have lost a leg. I could have lost my eyesight. All these things are possibilities.
Yeah,
But I've got
yeah.
another healthy year on this planet. Like, cool, man.
Oh, gratitude.
Yeah, like
Hashtag
that.
gratitude.
Yeah, like you got to be
Yeah.
grateful for that shit.
Yeah.
Because before
yeah.
you know it, you're 40, then you're 50, and then
Oh, yeah, mate.
then you're getting cancer, and then you're
Like
dead.
we're like 27. You're 26, right?
27 is soon, September.
Mate, 27. I feel exactly the same as when I did when I was 18, except now I've just happened to be 27, and I'm like, where have the years gone?
I feel a lot.
What on
I
earth is
feel a
going
lot
on?
different.
Oh, sorry, I just fell on the table.
I feel a lot different.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel more wise and like I've got more life experience and I
Yeah.
know more about myself.
Yeah, obviously.
But from like a feeling perspective, I'm like, mate, I just feel exactly the same as when
my
I was 18.
bones feel the same.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm training in the gym, I'm thinking, because I literally do go over my life when I'm in the gym. It's really interesting. It's like a bigger picture view.
Right.
And I was thinking, if I was to die today or tomorrow, would I be satisfied with everything I've done? And I think everything I've done, I've done it knowing that this is what I want to do right now. And
Yeah.
that's it. So a lot of people might go, oh, like I wish I didn't work so hard and all that. But I think I've acknowledged that as I'm doing it. So it's like I'm working now, and yes, I'm not doing all these things, but like this is what I'm choosing to do, and
Yeah.
I'm aware of like that. Maybe I'm missing all these things, but like that's how it is, and whatever.
As long as you're doing
So-
exactly what you want to do.
yeah,
Then, like,
and I think it can be easy to lead into, like, oh, like I sacrificed all this. I don't think it's a sacrifice. I think everything's like a choice of like it's got equal weight.
yeah,
And
you,
it's like instead
you
of going
choose your
to-
path.
Instead
like,
of going to the cinema, I played video games. Instead of playing video games, I worked. Instead of working, I went skiing. Like I think
Yeah.
everything's just
it's just the choices.
and I think I just chose work
Yeah.
all the time compared to all the other stuff.
But that's fine though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
got to where you are. You are today.
Yeah.
And that like is testament to your work ethic.
I am worried though that I'll never be able to switch it off. That's one thing. But there are a lot of things in life that I've changed perspectives on that I didn't care about that now I do.
Right.
Like sleep.
Yeah.
Like if I get less than 7 hours, I'm like, that's bad. I've just reduced my lifespan by 2 years. So I need to like catch up on that. Especially if you listen to that sleep doctor on the podcast.
yeah, no, I found all that
yeah,
stuff
scared
really
the shit out of me
fascinating.
when he started
Yeah.
talking about
That's
all that
good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think we've covered some of the stuff though. I can't think of the stuff. I think I have a lot more opinions on different perspectives
of overworking.
well, just working hard and why not to work hard and why to work hard. But I can't really think of
It's
the topics to
completely
take
like
us
it's
there.
completely down
Yeah.
to like your personal perspective. Again, like how bad do you want it?
I think you just don't become victim to working hard. Don't become like victim to your own hard work.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
way
that's
of
the thing.
summing it up. Yeah.
And I also think this was my experience, unfortunately, but I think there's a lot of people around you sometimes. Some people that are probably the closest to you, like maybe you're really good friends or whatever, that will tell you that you're working too hard. And I think over the years I've realised that obviously people don't want the same thing as you do. And so they'll have different opinions about...
And that's absolutely fine.
It's similar to not taking money advice from someone who isn't rich.
Yeah,
It's
that,
like
and that's
yeah.
absolutely fine. Because again, it's like you say, it's remembering everyone's priorities are different and accepting everyone's priorities.
Yeah.
Do you know what I really struggled with when I was like 17, 18? Like I don't know what I wanted, but I knew it was like bigger than this, what I've got. Like, I just knew I wanted to achieve like big things in life. And I was so like,
oh mate, I feel the same. Yeah.
but I was so driven and I was so motivated as like a teenager. And I was like really motivated and just wanted these massive things, and I didn't really know what they were, but I wanted to achieve so much, and I was so ambitious and I was so driven, and I found it really hard to be around my mates that weren't like that.
Yeah.
But as I've got older, I'm completely fine with it because I've accepted that I can hang around with XYZ and understand that they're happy. They're completely happy having a completely different life, but that's fine. And that doesn't mean I shouldn't hang around with them and be friends with them. There's a time and a place for me to go. And it's so nice for me to switch off and talk about something else. Do you know what I mean? And like hang around with them. That's just you being emotionally mature enough to be like, cool, like my mate doesn't want to achieve these things and isn't on the same wavelength about XYZ and about work and like ambition and dreams and drive. But I have friends like you that I can have those conversations with. And there's a time and a place for them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop hanging around with like my childhood friends that I've got so many memories with, and I love just kicking back and doing nothing with them. And
well, you have different friends for different
exactly.
things. Some friends are for the clubs and to like go out and.
But
have
I
fun,
found
and
it
other
really
friends are
hard when I was younger to like differentiate myself from that and take myself out of that.
Yeah, but were you around them all the time though? In terms of like when you're younger,
I didn't have the other people in my life that I could like, bounce back and forth off.
But also, you might have changed perspective on that now, just because you've put in the hard work over like the last 5 years, and you feel better because at least you've done something about it compared to still being in like your family home and you haven't like really ventured out. It's
funny,
into the
my
world
brain
yet.
just was like, but have you worked hard over the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but
there's
you've done
definitely
something.
I've done something. I've achieved something. I just did a 4-day campaign with PUMA. Like, feels good to say.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been times where I could have worked way harder. Like the start of this year, I was a bit all over the shop.
Well, you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so what you're going to do, you're just going to be on it all the time?
No, you're not.
Like, you're not going to be driven and like, you could probably, you might even have a full like year or two where you're like, fuck, I hate this.
But like I said, coming back to the start of the podcast, like I needed this shoot because now I'm way more motivated.
No, it's like reaffirmed in your mind, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. This is what I love doing.
For my self-confidence, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've just like fulfilled as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually watched a really good video. It was like, it's like living life like a surfer's mentality. And I love this concept, right?
Okay.
It's called the surfer's mentality. So basically, life is the ocean and you're a surfer and you're just out waiting to catch a wave. And you'll ride a wave and like you'll have the best time, but eventually the wave's going to end. And the surfer's okay with that. And they paddle back out and wait for another wave.
Yeah.
And you could be waiting 6 months for a wave.
Yeah.
But they know a wave's coming. A surfer will wait out there and they know a wave is coming because it's the ocean. It's got to come eventually. There's always going to be a wave at some point.
Yeah.
And they'll wait for the wave to come and they'll ride the wave. But also they know that they'll let some of the waves pass and they're not the right ones to catch.
Yeah.
But there'll always be another wave. So if you don't choose a path, another door and another path and another wave will always be there.
Yeah.
So
I really like this.
I love this as well. So it's like you're just waiting for a wave to come along and you can choose if you want to catch that wave and ride that wave if you want. And you might go 6 months without a wave and any good news and any opportunities, but you know one's coming. So you just sit there in the water and you don't deep it and you wait and you stay present and you keep doing what you do and then a wave will come along. I love that. Surfer's mentality. Yeah, surfer's mentality. But living your life like that.
That's almost just like showing up and that's...
Yeah, you're just there. Yeah. You're waiting. Like you're waiting for the wave. Like I rode a wave over the weekend. And like it felt great, but now the wave is over and I'm back out waiting to catch another wave again.
Tsunami. Rode a tsunami.
And then cool, like I'm excited for it. Do you know what I mean? And like I understand that I now might not get another shoot like that for 6 months or a year again. But like I know I can do it, and like after riding the wave, like the exhilaration you get and this personal satisfaction you get from riding the wave reminds you why as a surfer you love to do what you do. Or as a creative, or like whatever avenue you're working in, like riding the wave is why you do it. Like the weekend was why I do what I do. A sense of achievement.
They do say that like you need to take note of the times where you feel like that.
Yeah.
Because you need to then put yourself in more situations where you feel like that on a more regular basis.
Yeah, and that's the goal.
So, that's almost like appreciation for the craft.
Yeah, and and I think it's an appreciation of the craft, but it's also appreciation of like the universe. Like you're and coming back to I believe in something bigger.
Yeah, same.
I do.
But like, you love saying the universe.
Because I don't know, because I don't want to say God or like whatever, because I don't know whatever this higher power is, but like I like trust the universe, and like it's an appreciation that like you're just a little thing in an ocean, and you're well aware that like it's outside of your control. Like you just have to show up, and things will happen.
I like that. That might be a really good place to end the episode.
I think so as well. Yeah. Well, let's end the episode there. Thanks for listening, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been an insightful one.
I do think there's still just like things that
you need to accept. You need to accept the fact that we're not going to cover everything that you want to cover in an episode. And when you edit it, there's going to be things that you wish you said.
I'm going to look like a psychopath.
You wish you said, but mate, just let it be. Just let it be. There's gonna be more times that we can talk about shit. Do you know what I mean? It's not like this is the only episode you're ever going to release, and then that's that.
That's true.
So
because we're consistent, and we're here.
We're trying to be consistent. So thanks for listening, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I did, and did you, Cameron?
I did. Yeah, it was really, really good.
Insightful.
Yes, it was very insightful
for sure.
And make sure you sign up to our newsletter.
Make sure you sign up to our newsletter if you haven't already. It's in our Instagram bio in the link tree. Thanks for watching and listening, whatever platform you're on. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you want to hear from us. Feel free to drop us a message on Instagram if you want to have a chat with us or suggest some topic ideas. We really appreciate your support if you made it this far. Thanks for listening, and speak to you in the next one.
See you later, guys.
Thanks so much, guys, for watching this episode. There was definitely some juicy topics in there, and hopefully there's some takeaway points that you guys can learn from. I know me and Cameron definitely enjoyed recording this episode. If you could like, subscribe, drop a comment below, all is really, really appreciated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.